The moment his knees nearly gave out, he realized fear could be louder than applause. The room was full of warmth, soft lights, and familiar faces, yet his heart beat as if he were standing alone on the edge of a cliff, about to jump without knowing whether the ground would meet him or disappear forever. Years of silent longing, quiet sacrifices, and unanswered prayers led him to this single moment, where one question held the power to either heal everything he had lost, or reopen wounds he barely survived. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and love that grows slowly through hardship, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. His name was Aaron, and for most of his adult life, he had learned how to survive without expecting happiness. He wasn't born broken, but life had a way of sanding down sharp hopes until they became dull and careful. In his early 20s, he believed love was simple. You met someone, you tried your best, and everything worked out if your intentions were good. That belief shattered when his first marriage collapsed under the weight of illness, financial strain, and words left unsaid. By the time it ended, Aaron was left not only divorced, but emotionally hollowed out, carrying guilt he never fully understood how to release. He rebuilt himself quietly. No dramatic comeback, no inspirational speeches, just long days at work, evenings filled with exhaustion, and nights where loneliness felt like a physical ache. He learned how to cook for one, how to celebrate birthdays alone, and how to smile convincingly when friends asked if he was seeing anyone. Deep down, he had convinced himself that love was something he had already used up in a previous life. Then she appeared in his world in the most unremarkable way possible. Her name was Clara, and she didn't arrive with fireworks or instant chemistry. She arrived with patience. She worked in the same building, 2 floors above him, often passing him in the hallway with a soft smile that lingered just long enough to feel intentional. Their first real conversation was about nothing important, an elevator delay, a shared joke about bad coffee, but something about her presence felt grounding. She didn't rush him. She didn't ask invasive questions. She listened. Over time, their lunches overlapped, then their walks home, then the quiet understanding that neither of them was pretending anymore. Clara carried her own scars. She had lost someone she loved deeply to circumstances beyond her control, and while she never spoke dramatically about it, the weight of grief lived gently in her eyes. That shared understanding of pain created a bridge between them, one neither of them named out loud. Aaron struggled more than he ever admitted. Every time happiness crept close, fear followed. He worried he would disappoint her, that his emotional baggage would eventually become too heavy, that history would repeat itself. He often pulled back right when things felt good, convincing himself he was protecting both of them. Clara noticed, of course. But instead of demanding explanations, she stayed steady. She showed up when he canceled plans. She checked in when he grew quiet. She loved him in a language he was still learning how to understand. Years passed like that, slow, meaningful, filled with moments that didn't need to be loud to matter. Holidays shared with her family, where he felt like an outsider at first but gradually became woven into their traditions. Rainy evenings spent in comfortable silence. Late-night conversations about regrets, dreams, and fears that still had names. With every season, Aaron felt something inside him soften. He started imagining a future again, not as a distant fantasy, but as a real possibility. Yet one question haunted him. He wanted to commit fully, but the idea of asking her to be his wife terrified him more than losing her. Because asking meant hoping, and hoping meant risking everything. The turning point came unexpectedly, on an ordinary afternoon that didn't feel important until later. Aaron and Clara visited a small park where she used to sit when life felt overwhelming. As she walked ahead of him, laughing at something insignificant, he noticed how naturally she carried peace into his life. She wasn't filling a void. She wasn't fixing him. She was choosing him, every day, despite knowing his past. That realization stayed with him for weeks, echoing in quiet moments. He began to understand that love wasn't about being fearless, it was about being honest, even when fear was present. Still, when he imagined kneeling, his hands shook in his mind. He practiced the moment 100 times and failed in all of them. The day he decided to ask wasn't grand. There was no crowd, no elaborate plan. Just a familiar place filled with shared memories. His heart pounded so hard he thought she must hear it. Every doubt screamed at him. What if he wasn't enough? What if she said no? What if he ruined something beautiful by wanting more? But then he looked at her, really looked at her, and realized something simple and devastatingly clear. Not asking would be the greatest regret of his life. His voice trembled as he finally reached the moment he had avoided for so long. His body betrayed his nerves, his hands unsteady, his breath shallow. He didn't deliver a perfect speech. He didn't sound confident or poetic. He simply opened his heart, raw and unguarded, offering his future with the same honesty he had learned through pain. And then everything paused. The world felt suspended between heartbeats. The seconds stretched unbearably long as he waited, his entire past and future colliding in that silence. Her reaction wasn't dramatic. No gasp, no tears at first. Just a smile that slowly spread across her face, warm and knowing, as if she had been waiting for this moment with patient certainty. In that smile was reassurance, love, and a quiet strength that instantly dissolved his fear. When she finally responded, her expression carried relief, joy, and something deeper, trust. In that instant, Aaron felt something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. It wasn't the kind that erases pain or rewrites the past. It was the kind that makes everything that came before feel purposeful. All the heartbreak, loneliness, and self-doubt suddenly felt like steps that led him here, to someone who saw him fully and chose him anyway. The days that followed were filled with a gentle happiness. Not loud celebration, but meaningful connection. Planning a life together felt different than he expected. It wasn't about weddings or titles. It was about mornings, responsibilities, shared struggles, and growing old with someone who understood the value of patience. He noticed how his shoulders felt lighter, how his laughter came easier, how fear no longer dictated his choices. Aaron still had scars. Clara still carried grief. But together, they didn't see those things as flaws. They saw them as proof of survival. Love, he learned, wasn't about finding someone perfect. It was about finding someone willing to walk beside you while you continue becoming. As the months passed, people around them noticed the change. Friends commented on the calm in his eyes. Family members saw how grounded he seemed. Even strangers sensed something different in the way he spoke about the future. He no longer spoke cautiously. He spoke with intention. And Clara, in her quiet strength, continued to be exactly who she had always been. Steady, compassionate, present. Just before the story ends, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and share what love or second chances mean to you. Your words might inspire someone reading them right now. Because stories like this are not rare miracles. They are reminders. Reminders that healing takes time. That fear doesn't disappear, it just becomes quieter when met with courage. That love doesn't demand perfection, only honesty. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone you love or a moment you're still waiting for, please take a moment now to like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps keep stories of hope alive. In the end, Aaron realized the most powerful part of that moment wasn't the question he asked, but the journey that gave him the courage to ask it. And in her smile, he found not just an answer, but a home he had been searching for all along.